Welcome back to another episode of Intimate Conversations. And I have a special guest here, VZ, all the way from North
What's
Carolina.
happening? Southside Raleigh.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
Where did the name VZ come from?
It's a play on my government. My mother named me Shavar, and it was an 80s child actor named Shavar Ross. I think it was The Facts of Life or one of those shows. And so she named me Shavar, last name Hayes. And then around 17, 18, one of my homeboys, we was on the basketball court, and he just called me VZ out the blue. And it stuck.
It's stuck. It's been
So I've been
VZ
VZ since I
ever
was
since.
17.
It's only one and it's the one and only VZ.
Only one VZ, hence my handle. So yeah.
So we about to get back to the basics. That's what we doing today. That's the topic. We getting back to the basics. So what do you think people are missing in the talking and getting to know each other phase? Like what are we out here doing?
They're missing the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
I think people aren't actually getting to know each other the way they claim they are, that they want to. And I think it serves as like what we have right now is I feel like in this world we're talking about, we're at an impasse. Like you got a gang of women saying that none of the guys are doing what it is that they're supposed to do. And then all the eligible guys are saying the same thing about the women. So in my opinion, either somebody is lying or we have an issue with accountability, right? Because there's no way you can tell me that a well-to-do, attractive, got something going for themselves, man or woman, who has the actual desire to be with somebody long-term, look up 4 or 5 years after the fact and they don't have anybody. Right. And they always point the finger at everybody else. It can't be that.
Right.
There has to be some self-reflection or something that, needs to be involved here for people to kind of check themselves. And then what I always call the paradigm shift, it starts when everybody starts to take that long, hard look within themselves and figure out what it is that they're doing or not doing that's contributing to their issue. So when we always talk about the basics, it's just about the fact that the basics are kind of missing. People aren't actually dating.
Right. And that's the thing. I just feel like everybody is going from relationship to relationship, from situationship to situationship. Ain't nobody really taking any time to self-reflect, do any kind of inner work, anything. Everybody just jumping. They going meet to meet, wall to wall.
Yeah. I mean,
they just jumping.
And the thing, you said relationship, but that's the thing. They're not even jumping from relationships. The second word you said, situationship, is what they jumping from because nobody wants to go all the way in. I feel like people play double dutch with dating or relationships or seriousness. You can be with somebody for a long period of time and not want a title.
Like they halfway in.
Yeah.
They kind of sort of like, should I jump all the way in? I shouldn't jump all the way in. Like, and then when they are having their talking phase, you feel like they having too much sex too soon.
That's typically what it is.
And then now the women out here digmatized.
Yeah. Or the dude out here, she done left something on his stomach and
Did you say she left something on his
She left
stomach?
something on his stomach and now he messed up out here. He's in the bushes and doing wild stuff, showing up to clubs. It's crazy.
She left something on his stomach. But
I've been there before. I showed up to a nightclub in my PJs one time. I ain't lying to you.
In your PJs?
In my PJs.
Because she had left something on your stomach.
Club Fiesta, Falls and News Road, Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm telling you right now. Or Six Forks Road. I ain't lying to you. Like, and she was not answering the phone how she was supposed to be. Tried to hit me with the I was asleep. I said, you lying. You ain't no damn sleep.
How you knew she was at the club?
Because I knew the club she liked to go to.
Oh.
No, you gotta imagine this. So you gotta imagine this.
What kind of pajamas you had on?
I pull up in my '02 Honda Accord. Okay. I had on some flannel pajamas with like a thermal white joint. Okay. Needed a haircut. I showed up like somebody uncle. I pulled up just wrong. I walked right into the front door. I talk because I say this humbly, but I'm popular in my city.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so I typically know anybody who got, at that time, got something going on with the nightlife scene. So I know all the security guards, the bouncers, all of that. Bouncer let me right in the door, and I'm like, sleep, huh? Like,
You said you was asleep.
sleep, huh? And she walking out like this right here. And I'm like, hey, you know, you left something on my stomach.
Now
Like,
you out
look
here.
at my eyes.
You out here looking for her in the nighttime
Yeah,
with a flashlight.
absolutely.
And in the daytime with a
Absolutely.
flashlight. Oh my God.
That was one of the few times that I got. Because I was used to doing the getting.
Mm.
Because honestly, the truth is that most of the time, you know what you see my lives, like what I talk about a lot. And I think a lot of times women, they find themselves kind of getting lost in the sauce, right? And a lot of y'all are empaths. And if we get real specific, black women specifically, you're empaths, you got really big hearts, and you always trying to fix shit, right?
That's true.
So when you always trying to fix stuff, you end up kind of losing yourself in those processes. And that's why y'all have these long periods of like healing and all that from these relationships or situationships that you shouldn't have been in the first place. You know what I mean? So your recovery time is, you know, it's always relative to what you actually been through. And then it also, if you have a type, that type always gets you in trouble, because what I always tell women is take a step back. Look at what you have to show for your type.
Right.
What has it gotten you?
Might be time to do something different.
It
Because
gotta
how
be.
has that been working out
It
for you?
gotta
People
be.
always be like, well, I've been this way my whole life, or I've been doing this my whole life. And it's like, well, how's that working out for you?
In sports, they look at wins and losses, right? So I can't remember what year it was, but the Detroit Lions one year went 0-16. They did not win a single game, right? They were the laughing stock of the NFL. And I feel like that's what a lot of times when we have winless records, as in you have the desire to be with somebody for the rest of your life, and you've always struck out, that means you're winless. Nothing is actually working. Now, so you can say, oh, I had a good relationship here, or this person was good, whatever, cool, but it didn't work out.
Right.
For whatever the reason was. You know what I'm saying? So it means you got to try something different. And to me, it's always going to come back to getting back to these basics.
Right.
Talking about.
Absolutely. And look, you said, okay, let me just hit this topic. You talked about the women leaving something on the stomach, but baby, the men are easy. I hopped on your live and I was like, the men are easy.
You ain't lying.
Let me tell you, because I could walk past with a dress on, smile, blink, look him in the eye, and he ready to dive in face first and eat me like a Christmas cookie.
100%. But see,
We don't want, because men, I always hear men like, I don't want women that's ran through, but the men are ran through too.
Oh, no
and it's
doubt.
like, no, you're for everybody. I'm good. Slow down, little munch.
I try to not make it about like, I hate it because God made us different.
We're wired different. Men
We're wired
and
completely
women,
different.
absolutely.
So by default, we're the hunters.
Right.
Now I know some aggressive women, but for the most part, men are the hunters
Absolutely.
and more assertive and all of that, right?
Yep.
And so by default, we're gonna be more like, you know, you walk by in that dress, you know, the wolves are gonna come out. I mean, it is what it is. Now, I wear a suit every day to work.
Right.
Let me tell you something about females. Wolves.
They own you in that suit.
I'm tall, I'm dark skinned, I got a beard, and I'll dress like a grown man. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you. And I'm married. It don't matter.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I walk through a crowd of women, I'm gonna get the same kind of feedback that you would in your dress from a group of thirsty men. You understand what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I feel like more women are out here getting finessed than men.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think the reason why is because, number one, y'all outnumber us. Like, so by default, once again, if let's just say the ratio of eligible, available, you know, women to men is probably like 4-1.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, just as far as exposure, being able to be seen, accessibility, all of that, it's probably like 4-1. So there's always going to be more. Go to any nightclub, live music, whatever you see. What are you going to see in every corner? Women.
Absolutely.
And you see guys, you know, we're there, but we're in our little group of 2 or 3. We at the bar chilling, and we just scoping out the women. That's how it go. You know what I mean? So by default, y'all are going to get more of that type of attention. And then I always say that women have all the control. Y'all have all the power. And I feel like too many of the women out here have lost sight of the amount of power that they actually have.
They have definitely forgotten their power, hands down. I say that all the time.
It's crazy. You get a man to do whatever you want him to do.
They absolutely, we hold people have forgotten who they are. Absolutely, especially women. And then let me hit you with this. You know, everybody done bought into the dating pool is trash. It's trash. And I'm not saying that there aren't some unhinged people out here and some unhealed people out here, but let's talk about the vetting process. Is the vetting pool, are people's vetting?
No.
They need to evaluate their vetting process and their lack of discernment.
Absolutely.
Or is the dating pool full of trash?
It ain't full of trash. That's the perception.
Right.
I was thinking about this today, and it's crazy. I'm glad it came to me.
Mm-hmm.
Tyree Nichols.
Okay.
Right. Got beat down by 5 black officers. The white guy was held accountable because he was the one who did the tasing. I think it was somebody else, but either way, the majority of it was 5 brothers, right? And what I realized after I watched the video, and I told myself I wasn't going to watch the video, but it was one of those things where I felt like I needed to, right?
Okay.
And I broke down after watching the video. My wife had to console me in the whole 9. And the conclusion that I came to was that we all a lot of us had PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most people, when they speak on PTSD, they're speaking from a place of experience. Like, you've been through it before, military.
Right, right.
You were sexually assaulted, stuff like that. Like, it stays with you forever. So you have PTSD of anything that kind of triggers that memory, right? Well, we're in a place now where I can see another brother get beat to the edge of his life or his life be taken, right? And now I have PTSD as a person who's never actually been through that level of discrimination or whatever it may be, right? I feel like with relationships in this world that we're talking about, I feel like a lot of people have PTSD for the same reason. People are saying they are exhausted. How are you exhausted when you ain't been on a date in 8-9 months?
Wow.
How are you exhausted? You have PTSD because the internet and these social media apps keep showing you what they kind of want you to believe, that the dating pool, there's nothing going on out there.
Yeah.
That I got a viral video that's going right now, and it's crazy because it's like up to 3,000 some odd comments. And let's just say if it's an even number of 3,000, 2,800 of them are women. And out of that 2,800, probably 2,500 of them are saying they don't like to go outside.
You talk about that all the time. Like, honey, your husband is not. How you gonna find him? You gotta go outside.
Right, you gotta go outside.
He not gonna be delivered via Amazon
so
Prime.
think about this. If that's a small sample size, but I always say that small sample sizes they serve as like a microcosm to the bigger issue, right? All right, so and numbers don't lie. So if we got all these eligible, attractive, multiple degrees, no kids, take care of their kids, whatever the case may be, right? And all of y'all who are speaking on this have the desire to have a husband. How is it that none of y'all even have someone that you go with real bad? Think about it. I want you to think about it. Now, look, you may say, well, I don't have a desire to be in a relationship. I just want to be single. That's fine. Here's the thing. There are 2 lanes. That's your lane. Stay in it. Stop playing double dutch with this lane over here. Because you can't wake up on a Tuesday saying, I want a husband, go to sleep on Saturday saying, I'm done with these niggas.
Right.
That it don't work like that. You see what I'm saying? That's why
pick a side.
It's so confusing. You got to pick a side.
It is.
You know what I mean? So when we talk about vetting, okay, so where's the vetting process at? Look, when I was single, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you.
Okay.
I was for the streets. Look, it is what it is. I'm transparent.
Right. You tell us all the time.
I was delivered. Okay, that's
now
why
you out here doing Jesus'
That's why
work.
I talk my shit. Yes, I'm doing the Lord's work.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I know my data don't lie. When I shot my shot, I hit it. Okay, so every time, what I would notice when I look in hindsight, I need one hand to count the amount of women who actually said, hold on a minute, bruh. Nope, you ain't pulling up to the crib. Nope, I'm not coming to your crib after however couple conversations we have or whatever. Because I know I got talk game. And a lot of men got talk game. And if they handsome and got something to offer, there's a good chance that the women who they're going after are gonna like succumb to the pull up. Right. So if you pulling up to my crib 48 hours after me interacting with you, I'm telling you right now, there's a good chance that nothing is gonna happen from here. It is what it is. Remember, you got the control. Right. You relinquished the control when you pulled up.
That part.
When I put your head through the headboard, you gave it all up.
No, not when you put your head.
Well, no, I'm just.
Beezy. You keeping it a buck.
I'm keeping
It
it
is what
100.
it is.
When that head
It
go
is
through
what
the
it-
headboard, it's over with.
It's over
Now
with.
you in
It's
my
done.
crib trying to cook me breakfast. You acting like a wife, and I haven't given you any signs that I want you to be in that position. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
Because what I know to be true is that listen, I always say this. Women enjoy sex more than men. Tell me-
Absolutely, especially once they get to a certain age, baby.
Thank you.
Because if you at the late 30s, early 40s,
Right.
late 40s, it's
Now here's the difference though.
they want to be slutted out.
Most of y'all, not all, most of y'all really only have the desire to be with like one guy at a time. If you had it your way,
If we had it our way, typically the woman just wants to be slutted out by one man.
a woman
Absolutely.
that provides all your needs.
Absolutely.
You really don't want to have too many spirits
Right.
entering your domain.
Women don't typically want to have a roster. Absolutely.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I feel like happens is that women get lost in that sauce, forgetting about their power, and then they end up giving that little nookie away, that cookie jar you twist off the cap
Right.
prematurely. So then the conversation becomes, all right, Veezy, well, what are you telling us? Are you telling us to not have fun? No, I'm not telling you that at all. I'm telling you that if you want to have your fun, stay in the fun lane, because you can't intertwine fun with long-term relationships.
You got to draw a line in the
It
sand
doesn't
somewhere.
work.
Mhm.
It never works. Look at any
Absolutely.
dating app. Just look at a dating app, right? Here's the thing. I know you're working on a dating app.
Absolutely.
Now, here's the difference that from what we've talked about, that's going to be the difference with your dating app. The foundation.
The foundation.
You're setting a foundation of the precedent here is different from Tinder or anything else that you're used to.
Yes.
Now, of course, we know that people are going to still come in there and only want to hook up.
Right. They'll use it for whatever they want to use
It's going to cater
it
to,
for.
us.
We still want you as a subscriber.
Absolutely,
Come
of
on
course.
board.
Right, of course. But you still
But
have
my
to.
intention is for the serious people, for the people that's actually looking for a husband, a wife, somebody long term. Absolutely.
So what is that going to come back to? The vetting process.
The
So
vetting
now,
process.
whether it be a dating app or I meet you at the bread aisle in Whole Foods,
Yep.
it doesn't matter. I have to have the same process.
Absolutely.
So when we got people saying that they're exhausted from the process that they're really not participating in, that doesn't make sense to me. What you're doing is you are being influenced by scrolling on that phone
Yep.
and the imagery and the narrative and all that that's being thrown at you.
Yep.
You're going off of that.
Wow. That's true. That's very true. So in this talking phase, I'm going to get in your business now. So when you're married, I love that for you. When you meet somebody and in the talking phase, because the women are going to want to know, how long should they be waiting? And I don't feel like it's a set time limit, but I feel like you mentioned 48 hours, you should not be pulling up to his house in 48 hours.
No.
Like, what's a substantial amount of time? What's a good timeline to see? Because I always say, I'm trying to see if somebody is here for a good time or a long time. Like for me, I won't even agree to a date with a man unless I've had a week worth of conversation and you agree to a virtual date. Because a man that's here for a good time, baby, he not finna give me a week. Now, I'm not saying it won't be a few that make it through, but they'll be like, I'm not finna give you a week worth of conversation and a virtual date if I'm really just looking for a good time for one night. They're gonna be like, nope, pass, great. Next caller.
Right. I think it's there's no set time. I never took the like Steve Harvey approach, 90 days.
Right, right.
I don't believe in that. I do believe in energy. Now I also know that a lot of times people are saying we caught a vibe. That vibe was produced. Like that wasn't a real vibe.
You don't think it was organic?
More often than not, it's not. Okay, my wife and I, our story,
Okay.
we got engaged on day 69. I proposed to her on day 69. I felt as though she was going to be my wife after date 3, right? And the stories that you will hear that are consistent with most men and women who are in marriages at this point and healthy marriages, a lot of times you will hear them speak on how rapidly things move, right? Now, the difference between that rapid movement and the rapid movement that a lot of other people have is that it was organic. We were having real conversations. We were dating. A lot of times people are talking about this vibe that they're catching. You caught it on the couch.
Not on the couch,
On the couch.
Or through the headboard?
There ain't no damn couch. That ain't no damn vibe. Because the only reason why the vibe exists on the couch is I'm trying to make it to the headboard.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
It ain't rocket science, babe. I mean, like, it's crazy. Think about it. You mean to tell me we sitting here watching this long-ass movie that we not going to get through?
Right.
This movie is 2 hours and 26 minutes. We ain't going to get through it. Okay? You pulled up at 11:33 at night.
Not 11:33.
I got to go to work in the morning.
Mm.
What the hell you think about to go down? You got me sitting here watching this movie with your kettle corn in the damn microwave. And you think that I'm really about to sit here and like talk about life with you.
I can't with
What the
you.
hell you think it is? No, I'm just saying.
Right, let's be for real.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this is all on the women, by the way,
Right,
because I know
right.
how this can sound. Like,
Right.
no, I don't mean it like that. Like, because, see, a man done been through this scene I'm setting up enough times to know.
Right.
9 times out of 10 it's going down.
Oh my
If you
goodness.
tell me, if I hit you at a certain hour, what you up, WID, and you respond.
It's a no for me.
Exactly.
Because if you hit me at 10 o'clock at night, baby, if you wanted to see me, the reservations would have already been made and we would have already been out by 7 p.m. 8
Exactly.
p.m. the latest. You hit me WID at 10 or 11. You're not going to get a response because I'm going to bed by that time.
So where's the
like,
discernment?
That part. The lack
Where's the
of discernment.
How do we speak on discernment when we're making these types of decisions? It doesn't add up. It doesn't compute, and we can't make it make sense.
Right.
So what happens is people have to once again pick a side. How serious are you about this thing?
Right.
I'm in sales, right? I'm in car sales. Got promoted to sales manager after 7 years of just selling cars, grinding it out, all of that. I got real intentional about wanting to get promoted, and lo and behold, I did, right? Now, that promotion wouldn't have come to fruition had I not actually put in the real work.
The work, absolutely.
When I got intentional and serious about what it was that I wanted, it was inevitable to happen eventually. I didn't know it was going to happen as quickly as it did, right? So that comes back to when we always talk about dating with intention. What does dating with intention actually mean? I feel like it's a two-way street. If I approach you as a man, I come to you like, I'm trying to, are you free Friday night? And you hit me with a, yeah, actually I am. Your intentions, if you're intentional the same way I am, right? You need to know that the reason why I want to take you out is because I see something in you.
Right.
Most men aren't going to actually spend. No, here's the qualifier. We in Atlanta, right?
Right.
I don't even know if I got money. Okay, there's a lot of rich black men, athletes.
There are.
Right. So they don't qualify for this conversation because they have disposable income.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
The everyday working man ain't finna take no woman out with no real now, don't get me wrong, there could be an expectation for the nookie, and you're going to feel that over during the date.
Right.
Matter of fact, you probably felt it before the date started because in the conversations leading up to the date, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So if I know that, like as a man, my thing is this. If I come to you and I say, look, are you free Friday night? I'm moving with those types of intentions. That's my way of letting you know I'm serious at least about getting to know you.
Right.
And if I don't back it up with a bunch of small talk and all of that, you know that I'm serious.
Right.
Right? Because you're an attractive woman. How many times have you been approached, whether it be DMs, grocery store, whatever it may be, you actually go to the place where you give a man your phone number and he either doesn't use it or when he does use it, he ain't got shit to say. How often?
Next applicant. Next applicant.
Because it's sport fishing.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
You know what people do when they sport fish? This is what it looks like. We're going to go out on the Atlantic Ocean. It's going to be me and 5 of my buddies. We're going to catch fish, take nice pictures and all of that, and throw the fish back into the water.
Oh, wow.
Right? We supposed to take this fish home, scale it, cook it in the whole 9 and feed our family. But that ain't what's about to happen. We throwing it back in the water because we just want to show our homeboys what we're capable of. I caught a big one today. We posted on Instagram.
Right.
Everybody think that you finna eat that fish. No, that fish went back into the ocean.
So look, speaking of that, when you're in, let me get your advice on this. The busy man. And he may not actually have a roster, but he doesn't have the time to consistently see you. He doesn't have the time to consistently pipe you down, but dating could be maybe number 2 on his priority list. he could be chasing this promotion at work or whatever. Should he be dating? Or should a woman take time and be patient with him?
That's tough because we're talking about. So
he's saying he wants a wife or a girlfriend or whatever, but he's like, but I'm trying to get this promotion. I'm trying to do this, so he might be putting in long hours, et cetera, et cetera. Should a woman be patient with him? Should she I feel like that's a gray area.
It is, but I would say yes in that, because if that man is chasing something actively,
mm-hmm.
and he took the time to actively pursue the woman in this equation, he wants her. And the patience that's required from her, women always talk about they want their Boaz, right? I want to find my Boaz, yada, yada, yada,
mm-hmm.
right? Well, the main thing with that is patience, right? Right? Mm-hmm. And so now here's the thing.
I ain't got none.
Well, and that's fine, though. That's the way your personality is set up. So here's the thing.
And wait, hold on, VZ. Let me tell you why I don't have none.
Okay.
Because if I ask you, where is dating on your priority list? And you say, oh, it's up there. It's like number 1 or 2. And you don't make time for me. Like you don't fit me in your schedule to see me regularly, to dig me down regularly, whatever the case may be. I look at it like this. This is how I view it. I don't know how other women view it. I'm running a business. I'm a mom. I'm a caregiver. Like, I have all these things going on. And if I make time for you, then I always view it as, you ain't making no time. You're not interested. Next caller.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, let's say, for example, you meet this attorney and he's trying to make partner. He
like
gonna be
like in my Flued Out series. That's exactly what's going on in the story.
Yes, like he's gonna be going into work early. He's gonna be staying late. Like he literally may not have time. What does a woman do in that situation?
So check it out. A lot of the viewers may not know about the short story series that I have called Flued Out, right? But to sum it up, we got a young lady named Karina, who travels for a living.
Mm-hmm.
She meets a guy named Desmond at the airport, who basically they had kind of love at first sight type of thing, but they're both on their way to Aruba. He's there for vacation. She's on vacation, but her guy named Omar sponsored her vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Omar is a black attorney at a law firm in Dallas trying to make partner.
Mm-hmm.
They're on this trip on the exact 5-year mark of them being on this trip. It was 5 years to the day that they met, and he proposes to her. So now she's stuck in this place of, she had this guy that she sat next to on the plane that she kind of had something weird happen with, and this other guy who she's been off and on with for 5 years. They're both finally in a place where it makes sense to take this thing to the next level, and he pulls out a ring from Tiffany's. Now, I understand what you're saying, but in that equation, we're talking about extenuating circumstances. They had extenuating circumstances where they both were chasing their respective dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have open communication, that means that we're communicating openly about what it is that we're chasing as individuals, which means we got to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that's missing in a lot of these equations. If there's no plan, that means you're just wandering aimlessly.
Right.
There's no goal. But if I have a goal for you and I actually break that down, as a woman in that equation, in my opinion, you should be able to practice patience. But what you said was, he doesn't make time for me, yada, yada, yada. Then he isn't the one. Now, the time may not be the amount that you want, but I'm going to fix you in. You see what I'm saying?
Because if he wanted to, he would.
Man, if a man want you bad enough, there is nothing. I keep telling women and men this. I don't know why we keep trying to make this rocket science. There is nothing that's going to stop a man. You know how many men I know, hell, even me, I was willing to fight somebody, baby daddy and all that. I'm 6'1", 165. I ain't about, I'm only at 205. Like, I'm ready to fight. Because you're not going to stop me from the woman who I've determined is mine. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I'm willing to do that, I damn sure ain't finna let time get in the way.
Exactly.
Hey.
Oof. And what do you think about people dating people's potential? It's a no for me.
Potential is a dirty word. I'm a sports fan, right? So a lot of times these scouts, when they look at like college players about to get drafted into whatever the league is, their job, they get paid a lot of money, right, to scout. And potential is based on Potential is based on what I see.
Right.
You're showing me something that tells me that I need to proceed with this, right? A lot of times people, especially people who are hopeless romantics, they create potential. Potential ain't really nothing but the fact that you fine as hell, you my type, and I want you to act right.
Ooh.
That's what potential is.
Okay.
Because people are determining potential after 3-4 days of knowing somebody. In the group chat talking about they got so much potential. No, they don't. You don't know them.
Let me tell you, people die every day and don't reach half of their potential.
Right.
It's a no for me. I'm not dating their potential.
What are you talking
Unless
about?
I can actively identify that they are on that path to reaching their
Exactly.
potential. Like I can see them doing the daily steps
Exactly.
to reach that potential. But I tell people, meet people where they are. Will you accept them right now today if they never reach that potential?
Yeah.
Like dating potential is some bullshit.
Yeah, what is
like,
potential? Like, what are we talking about? This facade that you want so bad. Like, nah.
Nah. Okay, so you know what wouldn't be intimate conversations if we didn't get into the intimates. I gotta ask this because I'm asking for the ladies. You meet this man, women meet men, they like men. Why are they rationing the dick like once a week? He got a roster? Why is he rationing it?
And what kind of equation? Like
He rationing it like once a week
and y'all in the talking phase?
in the talking phase.
I mean, it's a lot though. Like we talking about Vivi. You got your own place. He got his own place. Y'all might live on opposite sides of town. Like he may not be as drip. I'm serious. See, this. I think a lot of times women they equate. I want to word this right.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times women project sexual energy unintentionally, right?
Okay.
And I think that a lot of that is due to you associate a man liking you with your physical prowess. And you've been going through it since high school. So the question you just asked, if he rationing out the dick, you're equating that to, is he creeping around? Do we got something else going on?
Like, do we got a roster?
Yeah. Does he, and guess
it-
what? And guess what? If y'all are both single, he might. But the same way I would encourage a woman to tell me, I like for women to date multiple men. I don't give a fuck. Because it's me. That's how I feel about it. Now, am I going to win every time? Of course not.
Right.
But my confidence never wavers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I want to know that you actually are out here dating, right? Now, the thing I know about women is more often y'all can date multiple men and only be smashing one of them. Right? More often. Right? More often than not.
That's okay.
Right? What you think a man doing with his roster?
He's smashing all of them on his roster.
Or at least the majority of them. Because here's the thing. You said earlier, we're wired differently, right? So a man can compartmentalize completely different than a woman. Now, I'm not letting us off the hook because that's just what we do. No. But you couldn't, you in that equation, you shouldn't equate the once a week or twice a week or whatever to mean that it's because his attention is being diverted or he's somewhere else. Because once again, once you show yourself as like, I need to be committing all my time to you, it's going to be done if it's real. If it ain't real, stop making it rocket science. Like, you need to be up out of there. You supposed to know. If he ain't smashing, he ain't texting you right away, he ain't calling you every chance he get, he ain't trying to spend the time with you.
But look, what if he calling VZ? He calling consistently, but he not smashing you consistently.
He may not be attracted to you in that kind of way. Or to that level. Let me. So, because words matter, man.
Words definitely matter.
So sometimes what women don't realize is that men, we grow into our sexual attraction to you, believe it or not. Because just because we like a woman doesn't mean we want to just smash. I'm telling you.
Are you serious?
I'm dead ass serious. What women don't realize is that men move based on what is projected, like what we see. So if a woman is got her ass all over the internet all the time.
Oh,
right?
that part.
I'm being enticed by her physicality.
Okay.
Right? If a woman presents herself as a well-spoken professional or whatever it may be, right? She has fun, but she limits the amount of fun that she lets the outside world see. Right?
Okay.
The man who is ready is seeking that. So what happens is sex, honestly, what women don't realize is sex, we always but it's not at the top of the priority list because we actually start dating you, trying to keep you booked and busy, spending you just said he calling on a regular basis. He's showing you all the signs. That part right there may not be in every situation. It may not be uncovered just yet. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So again, I'm not saying that's all the time, but I think what women have to do, and because you asked from a woman's perspective, what women have to do is take that step back, use that discernment. Look at that text thread. It never lies. It never lies. The good mornings, the checking in on you, the have you eaten, I'm going to send you something to make sure, I'm going to take care of your lunch today. Shit like that.
Please make sure I eat.
I don't know who created this, the way to a man's heart. That's bullshit. The way to a woman's heart is food. What are we talking about?
I want some tacos.
Yeah. Like, y'all love to eat. No matter what size you are. Don't matter. It ain't just being big women. It's all of y'all.
I want some tacos.
Women skinnier than me. Eat way more. Y'all love food.
Oh, my goodness. And then let me hit you with this. The way people package themselves. The packaging. I hear a lot of men. I have a lot of male friends, and I hear a lot of men that are saying that all the women, don't at me, ladies, all the women look alike.
Really?
They all do the same thing. They all have the same hairstyle, the same lashes. How important is how you package yourself?
As a woman to a man?
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't know you a woman, so you may see more of what the men have to say, and that kind of thing. But I've never looked at it like y'all. I mean, I look at it like y'all like to get pretty. My wife is a hairstylist, so the running joke is in our house is when you come home from work today, I'm gonna be somebody different.
Okay. Y'all
wigs, y'all the weave, the braids, the whatever, the bob, whatever y'all want to do. And I think most men really do appreciate that. I don't. Because what that sounds like to me is the man who says, I like natural women.
Right.
And, man,
get out of here, sir.
That is a very specific, audience, right?
Okay.
Most men don't really give a fuck.
But wait, let me tell you this. As far as packaging yourself, so women will say, let me ask you from a man's point of view, women will be like, but I don't want to be overly sexualized, or I don't want to be this. And then the man goes through all her social media and it's all ass and titty shots. Packaging yourself is so important. That part. That's what I want to touch on. How important is packaging yourself for the person you want to attract?
It's extremely important. If that person you want to attract doesn't, the person, if you moving like that with your ass all over the internet, the man you want to attract, he might like your picture or your video, but he ain't finna wife you. He's probably not gonna. He may DM you, but he's trying to smash. Right. He's not about to offer to take you to Ruth's Chris because you're not giving out Ruth's Chris energy.
Right.
And there's no way around it. And I don't like when you can't get offended by it or anything like that because it is what it is. Because it goes back to what I was saying earlier. A lot of times women, they've always, since high school or whatever, they've always associated men liking them with what they look like physically.
Right.
And then when it starts getting into the sexual realm, your breasts and your butt and this and that, it starts getting all twisted up, right? So, yes, the packaging is very important if you're in, remember I said 2 lanes. If you're in that lane of wanting to find your forever person,
right.
You know what I mean? Then you got some cleaning up to do.
Okay.
With your socials. If you want that.
Absolutely.
It just makes sense to me because as a man, I don't want to be with, it's one thing to have a past. Everybody got a past.
Everybody's got a past.
Right. But I don't want to be with somebody who somebody can just pull up their profile and see the same stuff I see on a Friday night behind closed doors. Think about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is spank bank material for a lot of people.
Right.
There's weirdos on the internet.
Did you call it spank
bank material?
Not spank bank.
Spank bank. I'm trying to tell you, some weirdos on the internet.
I could believe it. I could definitely believe it. Oh my goodness, VZ, I'm so glad you came. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do some live podcasts soon. And so where can they find you at on social media?
TikTok is the only social media I got. So it's only one VZ. So it's only _1 spelled out _ VZ, VEEZY. So as soon as you hit only, it'll pull up in the search bar. So
Okay. And
something
I'm
like
your
that right
host, Sonia B. You can find me on TikTok at Monroe_40 and on Instagram at Sonia_B. And I'm so glad you came. Thank you for coming
I appreciate
all the
it.
way from North Carolina.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. All the way to the
Absolutely.
A. And we'll see you next time.